The revolutionaries, as Mr. Sanyal said in his previous session, I was watching it online, they did a fantastic job of pushing the window, and the kind of, I'd say, see, it's like this. Revolutionaries were isolated by four stakeholders: the society at large, the moderates in the Congress, the extremists who couldn't openly own their allegiance or relationships with them, the Muslims who didn't want them, and of course the British establishment. So under these circumstances, with utter isolation, the revolutionaries operated. Imagine the kind of commitment that they had to Bharat for them to operate in these circumstances. Now, Mr. Sanyal said something very interesting about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's elder brother during the course of his talk. All you should do is this. Today, Sardar Patel looks great. Netaji looks great. All of these people look great. I would offer a simple litmus test. As long as these people were in the Congress, what was their attitude to the revolutionaries of that particular period? Did they bat for them? Did they give them intellectual cover fire? Or did they actively push for their prosecution and publicly castigate them? You will find very few Congress leaders who are not guilty of one of these things. And that would include the person whose Statue of Unity has been built in Gujarat. His letters will clearly show what he thought of the revolutionaries. So today, because we have Nehru and Gandhi as the soft targets, anyone who represents an opposition to them becomes someone worthy of co-option. But if you want to actually look at the, let's say, the history of that particular period better, revolutionaries represent, according to me, perhaps the purest strain of thought which comes close to Bharat civilizational ethos, where I would say they kept the Kshatriya spirit alive. Every legislation, in fact, even prior to the 1919 Act, there's a huge report that comes out on seditious crimes. They hold the Brahmins of Maharashtra singularly responsible for fomenting revolutionary activity in Maharashtra, because he says, you see, the Maratha Empire was ultimately governed or finally governed by the Peshwas. Peshwas were Brahmins, so it's the Brahmin who is trying to revive his political status. And Tilak is a Chitpavan Brahmin. So this is how the discussion happens. It's not just about the religious identity, it is now the caste identity that comes out very clearly. And if you look at the enumeration of the trouble that they caused, and the report that actually is prepared, Punjab, Maharashtra, Bengal, across the country, and even in the south, astounding. So this was never a peaceful movement. It's a peaceful representation of an otherwise violent movement that was going on parallelly. And you have to realize that the revolutionaries were not even getting support from the press. Even the local press was pro-Congress, which is why they were forced to come out with their own mouthpieces. The Anushilan Samiti had to start publishing its own mouthpieces because they were not getting traction. So there's a very popular line in Rajkumar Santoshi's representation of Bhagat Singh, in the legend of Bhagat Singh, where he says, "Agar ye Congress cheekti bhi hai, to ye chap jata hai paper mein," which is actually the case, which is exactly what happened. These people did not get money, and these were educated people who realized what kind of nonsense they were being taught in schools and colleges, and they decided to jump into this Havan Kund. So I think, I hope through Mr. Sanyal's books and others' books, that history is done justice to.